to Know Before You Go, the first web series for foster youth by foster youth.
Know before you sign that contract.
Know before you build your brand.
Know before you take out that loan.
The topic of discussion today is roommates.
So when it comes to roommates, you gotta be able to juggle bills, cleanliness. How do you guys manage that?
Cleanliness, I think it's a very huge thing. I was taught how to really deep clean. I wanted to smell good, incense and all.
When it comes to cleanliness, let me just be 100. After I come home from day of work, I'm not trying to come home and clean, I'm trying to come home and rest. Why come home to do work when you left home to work? What kind of system that made?
That's called being an adult.
Or you can even set a day. You know what I mean? Set a
Right,
day,
like
Sundays. Yeah.
So I think one of the things that people lack is the ability to really talk about is those really nitty gritty details of finances. So I think one of the things that really works is at the very beginning, first you have to understand that there's more than just rent, right? So you have to think about trash, water, gas. And so those are split obviously, right?
Right.
And then there comes those commodities like internet and cable. But then what happens if they don't want to help pay for internet and then you pay for it and then they want to use it?
Right.
Well, you shut that off.
No. But you gotta understand, as foster youth, there's some times where we honestly don't know how to manage that or how to be okay, so I'm supposed to pay this bill right now, but I only have money to eat.
I can tell you that for my part, I was embarrassed to tell my roommate that I didn't have enough money to pay for this bill.
I think that probably stems from not wanting to be dependent on somebody else.
Sharing a space has had its ups and downs. I was raised with, a sense of care for my space, keeping it clean. He wasn't. He was picked up after. It's hard when you're sharing it with someone. You have to, reason and compromise.
So what are the bad experiences that you've had?
The worst experience for me with my roommate was when he had his family come over.
They moved in with you,
Yeah, I'm walking through the living room, stepping on people's heads because they're.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
I've had roommates, and I can say the communication, that's where things kind of go wrong. So check it out. You want to know everything you need to know to be a great roommate? Well, watch To Know Before You Go Life Hack.
Even if your roommate ate your leftovers, it does not mean that you can eat theirs. After you eat, wash your dishes. If you leave them for later, who knows when they'll get done. Don't leave food out. Mice love free pizza even more than you do. Make sure everything is picked up and tidy so you can go to bed with a clear mind. Don't be a slob. Take pride in your space. Making your bed sets the tone for the day. Cleaning the bathroom stinks, literally. Take turns with your roommate. If neither one of you can remember to do the chores, make a chore list. Take these off the holder and put on a fresh roll. Communicate. If you're having an issue with your roommate, talk it out and be a good listener. Always ask to borrow things. Be considerate. If your roommate is studying for a test, you and your friend should meet somewhere else. If you're thinking about having a party, check with your roommate first. Basically, all I'm saying is treat your roommate how you want to be treated.
So now we're joined by Michelle Zajac from the housing program for First Place for Youth.
Thanks for having me.
What are some negative experiences that you experience with a foster youth or just youth in general coming to housing?
Well, I think it starts from the very beginning. Two young people will move in together, and sometimes it's great, and things are smooth for a while. There's usually a honeymoon period. You're getting to know each other, and then something will happen. Eating each other's food without asking, or eating food and not replacing it, not paying for the bills, going into each other's rooms without asking, or borrowing stuff without asking. And then you really touched on having extra guests, people living at the apartment, and that really builds over time and can become pretty bad pretty quick if it's not taken care of.
So I remember when I was in transitional housing, I always struggled with this rule of having to pay 50% of your income, even though knowing it was going into a savings account and things like that. I always knew from budgeting, rent should never be more than a third of your income. And so what's the thought process behind expecting 50%?
That's a really great question. It's about teaching you how to set big chunks of money aside so that you know that when it is time to pay rent, you already know what it feels like to have the absence of that money, if that makes sense. And then the other part of it is really about so that you are leaving program with a large chunk of savings in the bank.
Sometimes I feel like the program's like, look, these are the rules. If you don't like it, there's another program you could get out. Follow them and get out.
And I get how coming into a program can seem like any other system you've been in. Here's a bunch of people who are just telling me that this is what I need to do so they can check off their boxes. But truly, people who are working in transitional housing are working in transitional housing because they want to see young people be successful. Because we're aware of not all of them, but of some of the barriers that you're encountering. And it's our job to help remove those barriers. But if you don't tell us something's a barrier, we're not going to know.
Thanks for watching Know Before You Go. Make sure you leave some comments below. You can check out our website or just hit us up on Twitter.